The narrowest gap, certainly in a long while, and probably one of the closest gaps in the history of Dragon Warrior Randomizer races. And speak of races, our race is underway. Lord of the Synth getting the instructions from the king and is getting told to take the items in the 3 treasure chests. One of them will be a magic key so they can get out of there. Also, we've got an herb as well as some gold. And there is that magic key. Now, they're also going to be checking to see if they have any spells to perhaps cast the spell of return to save that key, but it looks like that is not the case. And looks like our runner's trying to even things out here. And let's see what we've got in the castle thus far. Well, Lord of the Synth going back, as is Itstoearly. They're both going to save their game here. Try to hold on to that gold as they don't know what they're going to be facing once they leave the castle. And every time one of our racers loses all their hit points and expires, well, they go back to the castle and are revived at the cost of half of their gold. Ooh, and yes, 218 experience to the first level as Itstoearly heads on over to a town, and it is Garenham. And it's going to check out the shop there. Let's see if we've... Ooh, a lot of pricey stuff. The only thing that's affordable is the bamboo pole, which is only going to add 2 to your attack power. But considering how much everything else costs, that's about all you can do. Lord of the Synth, meanwhile, working on a rogue scorpion. Now, one of our enemies along the way here is what is known as the wet noodle, as it has been known. It's an enemy that is going to have the lowest strength around the castle, and that will give our runners at least a chance to basically not get obliterated by everything. Wow, and a couple of critical hits, still not taking out the rogue scorpion. Now, the other guarantee of that wet noodle enemy, as it's known, is that easy-to-fight enemy, is that it's guaranteed to have 5 hit points or less. So we know that that is not the enemy, but Lord of the Synth, with 3 different critical hits, still trying to punch out this rogue scorpion, but for all we know, it could end up having 100 HP. Meanwhile, Itstoearly heading back to the king to save. And Itstoearly roaming around the castle and finds a star wyvern. Ooh, that attacks for 14. And Lord of the Synth with a very epic battle here in the early going. And note here in chat, hoping that the easy-to-kill enemy doesn't give a very minimal amount of experience, given that it requires 218 to get to level 2. Well, it's too early with a reset here. As Lord of the Synth still working on that rogue scorpion. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen, as now a reset here from Lord of the Synth. And yeah, noted 4 different critical hits and still not quite the enemy here. And Lord of the Synth going after a Wraith Knight that knocks Lord of the Synth for all 19 HP. It's too early, meanwhile, checking out the cave, and it looks to be the Tablet Cave. So a little bit of navigating going on. but no enemies to run into, and at the end of the trail is a free chest. And we will see what that chest holds in a matter of moments, as Lord of the Synth doesn't even bother with the Star Wyvern. And Itstoearly is going to find a fairy water, which is utilized as an equivalent to the repel spell, meaning that enemies that are weaker than you won't get into encounters, but this early on, not quite something you're going to see with either of our runners. And Lord of the Synth now picking up a bamboo pole. So every little bit helping, and Itstoearly putting on the dragon scale, as Lord of the Synth going to purchase one in a moment. And Itstoearly recognizing, ooh, and some semblance of fire from the Star Wyvern. Didn't even get the chance to find out. Meanwhile, red slimes with stop spell. And we see that red dragon's attacking for a bunch, and Itstoearly with another reset. And red slime's also with hurt more. Ouch. Well, and noting in chat, a red slime possibly is the noodle. In chaos mode, the enemy, even though it's guaranteed to have 5 hit points or less, it also does have abilities. So there is the unfortunate possibility that if the red slime is that easy to kill monster, maybe it's not quite as easy considering that it can cast Hurt More at any point. And the Wraith Knight hits very hard, as Itstoearly has found out. Lord of the Synth now in the Tablet Cave and is going to pick up a fairy water in a moment here. Itstoearly finding a wyvern, and it only hits for 1. That's a positive sign. So maybe the wyvern is our easy-to-kill monster here. And a critical hit from Itstoearly, and no! Well, he's been attacked for 5 and then some, so that is not the easy-to-kill enemy, but perhaps Itstoearly with that critical may be able to wear down the wyvern and get our first kill. As Lord of the Synth finds out that red dragons are here to play. I'm trying to utilize a spell, but none have been learned as of yet, and Itstoearly using the herb to heal back up to max hit points at this point. And is going to keep plugging away at the wyvern, and we've learned that the Star Wyvern does have the baby breath, the fire that hits anywhere between 18 and about 24 hit points of damage. Oh, Itstoearly certainly going 15 rounds and then some here with the wyvern. Lord of the Synth, meanwhile, getting back attacked by the Star Wyvern that immediately breathes the fire. And a second one takes Lord of the Synth down. Meanwhile, high spirits in chat, talking, reliving the glory days of yesteryear. 50 damage just to get to our first kill. And oh, an excellent dodge. The Kaishin Negata. And now both of our racers are going after wyverns here. Well, Itstoearly has probably spent a good 2 minutes plus on this wyvern here. Oh, and chat being very cruel. You're cruel individuals in chat. Not much to say here as they're both going for their respective wyverns here, trying to just think, all right, maybe just that one additional hit point might take care of it. That one additional attack. Itstoearly, I think, has already gone through a few herbs, is down to his last herb and is using it here, so if this ends up not doing it in the next few attacks... Oh, and another dodge. I don't know, has anybody been keeping track of the, I mean, it's got to be at least 30 to 40 hit points that Itstoearly has hit on this wyvern. And are you kidding me? Another excellent move dodge? 2 Kaishin Negatas in one fight? The odds are tremendous. As LordOfTheSynth falls to his wyvern, Itstoearly only with a few more attacks here. But the wyvern swinging and missing on 3 occasions. Maybe they're both punch drunk at this point. LordOfTheSynth back at it and is going to go for a knight. Meanwhile, a knight has baby breath as well. 2 hit points left, and oh no! And skeletons hit very hard. Oh, and now a metal slime with stop spell. And hurt more. This is one of those seeds where the slimes are out for blood. Both the red slime and the metal slime with hurt more and stop spell. And a very good point our restreamer asking in chat. So the region that the weak monster will be in, it can be in what is known as Zone 0, which is the 15 by 15 grid that contains Tanagal Castle, the starting castle. And an issue as far as the structure of the game, that could include the water tiles, because it does include that as part of it, so not necessarily all of them here. But it also can be in what are called Zones 1 and 2, which are the 15 by 15 grids immediately north, south, east, and west of Zone 0. So there's 15 potential enemies that it could be, depending on which zone that you're in. And we've learned that it's not the metal slime. And at this point, the Spectre is getting into a bit of a slap fight with Itstoearly. Ooh, and a Wraith Knight hitting extremely hard as well. And Amazing Ampharos noting in chat that the seed, it goes pretty much the seed goes from a crawl to a sprint as soon as the power increases. As soon as you see Hurt More, the spell of Hurt More being acquired, that's also a possibility. And Z-Man noting in chat, it is entirely plausible that they haven't seen the weak monster to take out yet. But we see that the Red Dragon, well, they certainly hit hard. That's one of the other... Wow, Itstoearly with the excellent dodges, the critical hits that are dodged by the enemy. There have just been a plethora of them. And now Lord of the Synth looking to explore to the southeast and runs into a Durikima. Now that's the other thing. You know that if an enemy hits hard that they're not going to be that weakest monster. Now they may have a small amount of hit points, but they're not going to be that weak monster in this case. Those are the two criteria. It's going to have the lowest strength as well as a guaranteed 5 hit points or fewer. And the Magidrake hitting hard. Lord of the Synth encountering a Wolf Lord and opting to run. Is going to try to make a break for exploration. And finds a Warlock hitting for 4. And Lord of the Synth not able to get away. And Smashy, I don't believe that we had run into Wolf Lords. So for all we know, Lord of the Synth may have run from the weak enemy. And up to NG noting, find another town, bring gold. That might be the strategy here, although Lord of the Synth opting for the first one before looking on the second one. Itstoearly, meanwhile, opting to keep the gold that he has, as that gold was acquired in the throne room along with an herb and a magic key to get out. So far, both of our runners have found Garenham, which is just directly east of Tanagel Castle, and it had a lot of high-price items. The only affordable item was the bamboo pole for rather not worth it, but better than nothing. I believe 113 gold. And Lord of the Synth trying to get away from a Rogue Scorpion. Not able to do so, and Itstoearly with another heavyweight fight with the Spectre at this point. A slugfest. Oh, and Lord of the Synth in his exploration falls to the Rogue Scorpion. And up to NG. The Rogue Scorpion, I know there was a bit of a slap fight as well earlier, and it doesn't look as though the Rogue Scorpion was the enemy to go after. And Z-Man, yeah, this is no heavyweight fight, it's an atom weight fight. That's hysterical. On Lord of the Synth attacking the Wyvern for 6. Or I believe that was a crit. Itstoearly now still working on the Spectre. And AA providing some analysis in chat. The two enemies that we've seen that still might be candidates as far as the weak enemy could be the Red Slime and the Wolf Lord. The Red Slime, yeah, they have Hurt More and Stop Spell. Haven't seen what their attack is, because they use those spells instead. And Itstoearly down to his last herb. Itstoearly's had to have been working on the Spectre for at least 3 minutes. And high spirits on chat, taking the credit and or blame for rolling the seed here. And the Spectre finally takes out Itstoearly. And another reset. And we've seen that a Wraith Knight hits for quite a lot. Of course, the moment I step away, unless chat is trolling me, that the Wyvern gave 104 experience. Which, yes, is just under half of the experience needed to get from level 1 to level 2. But yeah, the reset, that pretty much negated that, and we're pretty much back to zero here. Itstoearly really looking to hold on to that gold, but I guess if the exploration isn't there, it's for what purpose? And chat noting that it's very possible that the Red Slime, possibly being a you know, they're joking, a spicy noodle, pretty much when in reference to a noodle, the great Cernico, it's an enemy that's fairly easy to kill in that it has the lowest strength among all of the enemies nearby the castle, and is guaranteed to have 5 hit points or less. And that is something that has been noted, is that even though they are easy to kill in that regard, they are not exempt from having any type of abilities. So they could have Dragon Lord Breath. They could have the spell of Hurt More. And yes, a Druin was new, and yeah, it hit for quite a lot. And Itstoearly was... Oh, well, Was working on a metal slime, but once stop spell hit, that pretty much was it for that. As Lord of the Synth is trying on the red dragon, and that didn't quite work out so well. Lord of the Synth with a restart, and Itstoearly going after the Wyvern here. And let's see about the red slime on Itstoearly's side. Well, it's hitting for 1. As long as it doesn't cast that deleterious spell, and there it is. 93 experience and 107 for the red slime. And Itstoearly immediately going in to save. So we found the enemy that is, with a wink and a nod, easiest to kill. And Autoshy, the town that's there, that is Garenham, and there are good weapons, but not at very low prices. The only affordable weapon is the weapon that both of our racers have, and that is the bamboo pole. At certainly not a great value of, I believe, 113 gold, a little over 11 times its vanilla value. And Itstoearly has taken out a second red slime and is just 32 experience away from getting to level 2. As we're 28 minutes into the seed. Now Lord of the Synth going after a magician that has baby breath. And that looks to be Lord of the Synth's plan, is to perhaps try to venture out, maybe see what else can be found. And as we're approaching a half hour here, I believe it's a good a time as any to bring in my broadcast partner for the evening. Some occupational obligations, not having him here at the start, but JJ Schmidt 77. Hello and welcome to the chaos.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
As I said, we're a half hour in and are just about, and not a whole lot going on here. The red slime appears to be our easy-to-kill enemy, as it gave 93 experience. Itstoearly has taken out a pair of them and is up to 186, but it takes 218 total to get from level 1 to level 2. We also found out that a wyvern gives 104 experience, but a reset after the kill kept it from staying on the board.
I did. I was peeking in on the channel. I was a little confused by that. I don't know there's no way to tell how much you're going to get for gold yet, unless I missed something kind of in that price range in Garenham. I was very surprised to see that he had reset and started over, but it looks to be working out.
Well, yeah, the DJ Weeze in chat, the town that is right by Tanagal is Garenham, and they have purchased some herbs and dragon scales, as well as the only weapon that they could afford, well, the only anything that they could afford at the weapon shop, and that was a bamboo pole that gave an additional 2 attack power. So Itstoearly with another reset, approaching the 31-minute mark. LordOfTheSynth going after a Spectre, and well, Itstoearly learned earlier that that is not necessarily the way to go. And Itstoearly trying to get away from the Wyvern. So far, all that's been found is Garenham that you see just on the edge of Itstoearly's screen, as well as the tablet cave which contained the fairy water. So still everything needed in terms of exploration and weapons as well, and oof, red slime casting hurt more.
The al dente noodle.
Yes, the al dente noodle, as I had somehow that has quickly become a thing over the course of the last few days.
I think that's the great thing about the tournament here. While we do have another red slime, looks like, but we've had more races in the past 3 weeks of Chaos than we had previously at all. So we're learning a lot of lingo's being developed. It's cool to watch this sort of take off and get debated. It's been a cool thing to watch the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, it certainly has, and I've been thankful to be right here in the depths of it, bringing the action to you. As I think this is my 15th race that I've called here in this tournament, so there's certainly been a lot of entertainment to go around, and even amongst those, there are still some things that I tend to miss out on. And up to NG, I certainly apologize for the marathon that you had to call last night. 3 hours and 40 minutes and change for what ended up being a gentlemanly agreed draw. Essentially due to curfew.
That was easily the roughest DL2 that I've seen.
And we don't even know what the end result was on it. I mean, as far as its statistics, I'm sure McGrew probably has those numbers from last night. Although I think he said he also wanted to give the seed a try just to see what it entails and what I guess what kind of workarounds there are, if any. LordOfTheSynth, meanwhile, going with the marathon battle with the Spectre. And DW Edit, yeah, it's a little early to call, to call something. All it takes is a kill on the other side, and it's right back to even. It's just Itstoearly has a little bit more of a head start on the progress. Exactly, as Amazing Ampharos noting in here. Well, this seed is definitely proving that for whoever is going to win this here and advance into the bracket stage, that they will definitely have earned it. As they're vying for the last of 2 available spots, this both tonight and tomorrow night, where you'll have Zarnax42 taking on Azrael Ravenheart here on the Randomania networks. They are vying for the last 2 spots in the tournament. There will be 11 seeds or 11 racers overall that will be in the tournament. The top 5, I believe, will get first-round buys, and then the remaining 6 will play their way into the quarterfinal round. And I said it before, I will say it again. Chat, you are cruel, cruel individuals. This time I'm looking at RCT mid with a bit of a prediction. And Lord of the Synth opting to create a new file. Opting to start from scratch at this point.
No harm in giving that a try when you don't have anything.
Yeah, going with a different build and getting a little bit more gold. And once you get into this stage of a seed and see how little progress has been made, in the back of your mind, there has to be some semblance of desperation, a little bit of concern of, all right, what do I do? You know, how far behind am I? And you have to figure both of our runners, while realizing the struggles, are probably thinking that very thing. All right, what did the other person do that I didn't that has led them to be ahead and me to potentially be behind?
It's impossible not to do that with so much time on your hands.
And the red slime hitting stop spell, and now it's a matter of the coin flips and seeing, is the red slime going to keep attacking? Is he going to cast Hurt more? So far, continuing to attack is Lord of the Synth picking up the items again, and there's the Hurt more. And as noted in chat, once stop spell hits, you're likely toast, and who better to provide that analysis than Amazing Toaster? And High Spirits noting that the name that was entered by Lord of the Synth, that it's the ever rare HP MP build. Depending on the first 4 letters of your name, it'll determine what boosts you'll get over the course of the run. That'll have just a little bit extra, and depending on how that layout is, you can get additions to 2 out of the 4 notable stats that you gain on levels, whether it be strength, agility, hit points, or magic points. Most of our runners usually go with either a strength and hit point build, and then others go through a strength and agility build. But this is the first that I've ever seen of either a hit point, an HP MP build, or anything with an MP in this case.
Yeah, that's an odd choice in my book. Because if I'm understanding it right, you're going to start with a little less hit points in magic, so I guess you get boosted at the base with a little more agility and a little more strength. But I don't think it's going to make a big difference, and if this were the one that you take off in, you're going to be suffering for strength and agility later in the seed.
Oof, and fire breath from the Star Wyvern. And almost synchronized restarts. Now it looks like, okay, so it is the capital K, which would be, it's actually an MP agility build. So I think what the intent of that is to get an early boost to strength and hit points to at least start out with, thinking that might help against some of the enemies. And Lord of the Synth finding another town, and it's Rimeldar. So that is going to open things up in terms of accessing keys.
That's big. There's no two ways around it. That's huge. And I do like if that's what the build is. I don't know that offhand with capital K, but that makes sense. Start with more strength, more HP, give yourself as much of a shot as possible.
And chat noting that it's certainly an interesting debate whether to check the weapon and armor shop first or whether to just go for the keys. And if there's something that costs, well, okay, you got a half plate for 34. But what this does is, and now as Lord of the Synth is going to go into the double lock doors and is going to find a dragon scale. Which, since it was already purchased at Garenham, all right, maybe something to sell later or may end up getting dropped when another item gets found.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
And we've got another town, Lord of the Synth just getting the exploration, and we've got Cantlin. And some triple-digit and higher costs mean, all right, not going to buy at this shop, but this is essentially the Mall of Alefgard. Okay, and a copper sword for 87, but not enough. Now this is interesting here. Okay, I was wondering if Lord of the Synth going to try to check and see if the coordinates are there, but I don't think it has nearly the hit points unless you max out on herbs, and I think even then... Oh, no, okay, he's going to sell the dragon scales. Perhaps trying to see if just enough can be... Oh, wow, a magic key sale. Something you don't often see. Lord of the Synth pulling out all the rare plays from the playbook here. I've never seen a key get sold. I've never seen an MP agility build. But it's going to work out for him here as it'll give him enough to get the copper sword. So if nothing else, that will add, instead of the 2 attack power for the bamboo pole, it's 10 for the copper sword, so that'll certainly help.
That's huge. I don't think I would have even thought about selling a key. I don't think it would have occurred to me.
And considering it was bought for 53, that it sells for that same value, but what can you say? Sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures, as we're 43 minutes into the seed and there's been no level up as of yet. So now Lord of the Synth getting the exploration in, and I guess he figures at this point, all right, if I end up getting sent back to the castle, meh, now I can open up the treasury, I can check what's behind Tanagel Castle, Garenham's right there, I can check what is inside of Garenham and in the back of that. So this opens up a litany of possibilities for Lord of the Synth.
And at the same time, Itstoearly has been holding on to all that gold. Seems like Cantlin wasn't very far away at all, so if he gets a little further out, sees that, it's going to be big for him too.
Well, as we see, we've got bucks. We've got an empty chest, so that I believe was an herb. Did we have two? I was going to say, I caught some, but not all of what was in the treasury. So did we have two chests with big bucks in them?
$952 is a strange total for that.
All right, 2 gold and herb and... Yeah, we're seeing about the no whammies. Okay, the wings, that was the other one.
This is a great grind going here. Early game, this is huge. And that's going to be frustrating for Itstoearly after a little bit when he's worked so hard to hold on to this gold and it's coming at such a cheap commodity here.
Indeed. And yes, those chests can give, I believe, anywhere between 500 and 750 gold. And yes, the treasures return once you leave and re-enter, as Game Boy F9 noting in chat. So this is allowing for an interesting twist on a gold grind. Now, I don't know if Lord of the Synth has checked the number of keys that he has. Okay, that as I say that, he does it. Mental telepathy, I suppose. So Lord of the Synth getting up to well into the 4 digits as far as the amount of gold. So I guess now it's a opportunity to, well, first purchase some more keys. And then maybe head over to Garenham and see what can be done as far as some shopping.
Did anyone get a solid number on a flame sword? It looks like in chat that's what they're calling out.
Yeah, the only one that stood out was the triple-digit bamboo pole.
You'd have a good shot of, with something with the, like a flame sword, you'd have a good shot at turning those wyverns or specters into something that would be a little more easily defeated.
Yeah, is the flame sword the second best sword in the game and would be an improvement of almost triple the attack power of the copper sword that Lord of the Synth has now. And to give you an idea, it's 14 times the power of the bamboo pole that Itstoearly has. And yeah, as chat noting, Lord of the Synth decided to show a little bit more guts than brains, some would argue, and did some exploration to the southwest, found Rimeldar, and was able to purchase keys from there. And then found Cantlin not too far from that and was able to pick up a copper sword. And has now done a unique form of the exiting and re-entering gold grind. And AA making a very notable point in chat that we don't know what Garenham has because it hasn't been checked yet. It could be possible that Lord of the Synth is grinding all this gold, and if they ends up picking up a flame sword, and then inside the back of Garenham is a chest that has Erdrick's sword, that is a lot of money and time potentially wasted. Unless Lord of the Synth decides first to go into Garenham, check what's in there, and then make a purchase.
And that's definitely the way to go.
Okay, and set for taking a look. So Flame Sword was 11,500. Silver Shield was 8,500.
Or we could see all this work on Lord of the Synth side, and then one more red slime kill from Itstoearly, and Hurtmore could be level 2. There's just no telling.
And that could certainly even the field right there. So let's see. Is Lord of the Synth going to check the doors first? No, he's going to the shop first. And he sees that, he's about 730 gold or so short, and a large shield with, oh, wow. So what do you do here? You reset, apparently.
Apparently you don't check the back door.
And that's another thing High Spirit's pointing out in chat, that if you use the key to check what's in Garanham, there could be a gold chest that would be able to take care of that 700. There could be the Erdrick sword, which would mean you don't even need to buy the flame sword.
Knowledge is power.
It most certainly is. We learned that from Schoolhouse Rock back in the day. Yeah, I just showed my age there, I know.
Need the more you know meme.
That could work too. I say, if I'm not careful, I may have it here, but I won't bring it out. And Smashy, to answer your question, Lord of the Synth was able to venture southeastward toward Rimmildar, purchased keys, and was able to raid the treasury, which had 2 gold chests, and essentially would grab the 2 gold chests, exit Tanagel, re-enter, open the door again, grab 2 chests, exit. Once he got down to 2 keys, would grab the 2 gold chests and then head on over, purchase more keys, and do the same. And Lord of the Synth is going to purchase the Flame Sword. And now just realize, maybe he didn't. Okay, he's going to go to the inn instead.
Or not. Oh, we both got so excited there.
Oh, there we go. Lord of the Synth is going to open the door, and let's see what is behind Garanham.
Erdrick sword. It's coming.
Well, there's some bucks there, so that certainly would have saved a trip. And some more bucks. How about that? And the fairy flute. So Lord of the Synth going to check what's behind Garanham. And it is the Rainbow Drop Cave, affectionately known as the Jerk Cave. Because if you don't have all the items you need to get the Rainbow Drop, he will literally kick you out.
Now, did he check Tanagel basement and I missed it?
He did, and it was the Silver Harp Cave. And, well, there is Hawksness. And there is the Druin.
So there are 4 towns just right around start. I'm really surprised that at this point, about 53 minutes in, looks like Itstoearly hasn't spread out that perimeter just a little bit, just to see.
Oh, and now you see the damage of 10 and now 8 for an attack on the Spectre, as opposed to those 1-to-1s that were going on for so long. Ooh, and 12 experience and 107 gold. Something tells me the Spectre won't be taken out much longer here.
One-shotting red slimes, though, that's huge.
And there it is, our first level. 54 minutes and 45 seconds in. A lot of speed. Still no spells.
Not a whole lot.
And Lord of the Synth going to try, hitting for 1 still on the dragon. And Lord of the Synth falling to the red dragon is going to go back at the cost of half his gold. Itstoearly, meanwhile, still hammering away at the red slime. And there's the hurt more. Oh, and red dragon sitting pretty much stalking Lord of the Synth outside Tangential Castle saying, hey, remember me? Yeah, I'm going to kill you again.
It'll be interesting to see what the strategy here is. So there's a lot of towns out there. I don't know if we're going to be looking at more exploration. I would think he'd sit down here and just beat up something like that Magidraki right there and just get 7-8 levels maybe.
Ooh, and 42 MP. Wow. As he goes up to level 4. Lord of the Synth gonna stay at the inn. As Itstoearly resets again after a red slime casts hurt more. And Lord of the Synth opting to run away, and now the red slime is running away.
I curled an eyebrow at that too.
And Lord of the Synth trying to run from a magician that breathes fire. Oh, and he's got heal more.
There's not a whole lot of reason not to try to just pop these things right in the mouth.
And let's see what a metal scorpion brings to the table. Ooh, it brings a lot of pain. Meanwhile, Itstoearly has taken out the red slime, and at just over 58 minutes is going to get to level 2, and is going to see a 2 strength gain, and is not going to be thrilled.
That might be the impetus to start spreading out and looking for a town.
And now not resetting as Lord of the Synth with some more exploration. Ooh, and Metal Scorpion hits hard.
The good news on Itstoearly's side is it's only one more kill away from another level, which might have heal more, which might bust things up a little bit. But he's still not going to be able to survive those hurt mores with the HP that we saw.
Yeah. And that's the other factor is that, I mean, it's only, we know that it's 293 total to get to level 3. Somewhere between 294 and 365 gets you to level 4. And Lord of the Synth getting to level 5. Ooh, and getting hit hard by the Wraith Knight. And Game Boy, you missed it earlier. There were 3 different occasions where Itstoearly had gotten a Kaishin Negata, the excellent dodge. At least I believe it was 3. It may have even been 4.
Something to keep an eye on, too, as we start to see these levels pile up, is Lord of the Synth switching to that K, and I think we decided it was MP agility, I think, at the start. So he's going to be a little down on strength and HP, what you typically look for to go on a Dragon Lord dive as we get towards the end of the seed.
And that could be something that helps in the early part of the game, but could be a hindrance down the road. Absolutely.
It's definitely why you wouldn't see this in many instances. But there are positives, especially early game in Chaos.
Oh, absolutely. Chaos creates all kinds of strategies that you wouldn't otherwise see.
That's the great thing about that. I really do. There's been a lot of discussion recently, and I'm definitely a pro Chaos vote. I like that you have to come up with some strategies on your own, and it's not all handed out in a race to see who can apply the normal strategy the fastest. It's definitely a good change of pace. Nothing against standard seeds either, but Chaos is fun to watch, fun to play.
It allows you to it allows you to think. It allows you to innovate. And answering a question in chat, are the red slimes the only thing to grind on? Well, in the case of Itstoearly, yes, although Lord of the Synth just taking out a Magidrake to get up to level 7, getting 2 levels in there at that. And the red slime hitting the stop spell. So now with level 7, a little bit of an advantage here for Lord of the Synth. Ooh, and the Druins still hit hard.
He's making the right play, leveling up right now. There's no reason at his stats to really start trying to stretch the map too much. Although 58 HP is a little higher than I'd noticed. I thought he was lower than that. It's borderline time to start walking around, but I would be thinking about just staying parked, grabbing maybe another level or 2.
And running right into a Druin. Well, especially considering it's only 20 experience to get from level 7 to 8 from where he's at.
A lot of sand and hills around there to keep a good encounter rate going, and it seemed like where he was at, a lot of the monsters are very killable right there.
And a Magiwyvern running away. Oh, wow, we had stereo Wyvern appearances, the Star Wyvern and the Magiwyvern, and ooh, we have found the Magiwyvern with Dragon Lord breath.
The old juke reverse DL2 breath.
And now back at it they both go. This time Itstoearly with a Star Wyvern that immediately hits the baby breath, and another Magidrake takeout that is going to get to level 8. And Lord of the Synth not even bothering with the Spectre. Running away from the Druid. Meanwhile, Itstoearly not one to do the Magidrakies. Lord of the Synth focusing more on exploration at this point. Itstoearly, meanwhile, trying to find a grindable enemy as Druid Lord given 130 experienced. And let's see what Drolls bring to the table. High agility, high strength by Droll. Lord of the Synth now backing Cantlin. And is taking note of the Silver Shield. I believe that was 8,000 and change. And Lord of the Synth now going to go see about some coordinates. One south and 32 to the east.
Well, that's about as easy as it gets.
Probably tripped over the overworld item walking around there at some point.
That might be right outside Cantlin here. It'd be pretty close. Yeah, that's a good point from E-Tap. He picked up the flute in the back of Garenham, so that has to be something worthwhile.
Either Erdrick's Token or Erdrick's Armor. Erdrick's Token needed to complete the game by getting the Rainbow Drop. And in the case of Erdrick's Armor, the strongest armor in the game and arguably the most broken armor in all of RPG history. It's got a defense power of 28. You take no damage in Swamp or those barrier tiles that Lord of the Synth just walked over. It also reduces the Hurt and Hurt More spell damage as well as the fire damage and Dragonlord 2 Breath, I believe, by a third apiece. Plus, you regain 1 hit point for every step that you take when you have Erdrick's Armor, and it negates the spell of Stop Spell. It'll never work on you while you're wearing the armor.
It's the Swiss Army knife of RPG armors.
Okay, and Kylan noting in chat, Kylan97, that Adamant Armor in Final Fantasy IV was dumber. I will take your word for that. It's been a little while since I've played Final Fantasy IV. Itstoearly, still trying to find an enemy to get that 14 experience to go up to level 3. And Lord of the Synth, meanwhile, about 121 experience away from level 9. Ooh, and, well, Scorpions with not a lot of defense. but they also quite a bit of offense. This is one of those slug fests. And the gold man running away, and you have to wonder, is Lord of the Synth, is he making a count to try to get that overworld item, or...
It really doesn't seem like it.
No,
It was
just
cold.
doing more exploration, kind of putting that in his back pocket. And he finds the town of Cole, which this will tell us here. It'll either have, a hand axe for one, which is great if he didn't already have the better flame sword. So this will either be the token, the armor, or nothing. And it is nothing, which lets us know that, well, it pretty much lets us know what we already know, and that the token could still be in a chest. It could be guarded in Hawk's Nest. So there's still a few different possibilities, and chat pretty much noting what we're thinking here, that at least searching that overworld item, especially if it is the armor, it'll certainly make exploration easier.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he thinks he needs the princess to do it. I'm not really sure.
Well, Lord of the Synth has found Garen's grave. He takes out a Drakey. Ooh, those are nice. For 114 and 8.
Has he tried to kill a red dragon and I missed it, or?
He has, and it didn't really register a whole lot. Meanwhile, in the grave, what we'll find out after this Drakey here. So we've got an empty chest. We've got the death necklace and a magic key. So that empty chest would have had to have been an herb. And the red slime hitting the stop spell on Itstoearly. Who is going to make his way deeper into the grave. And up to NG in chat. Ignoring the overworld item is tilting all of us. And Smashy, you are correct. Inside of the town of Garenham, behind the locked door, was 2 gold chests and the fairy flute.
It'd be interesting to see if Lord of the Synth sets up a gold grind when he's done here. He goes ahead and picks up that silver shield at the 8,500.
That certainly is a possibility. And now we've got the Cursed Belt, which almost seems like a little bit of a zonk prize. But you can sell it for 180 gold, so there is its benefits to it. Ooh, Ghosts with Hurt More. And Wizards, we knew, packed a bit of a punch. But so too does Lord of the Synth, and this is going to get him to level 10. So if you can hit the Wizards first, they seem like a good enemy to go after. Ooh, now Metal Slimes, they have Stop Spell and Hurt More. He's able to take him out for 9 experience and 37 gold, and that'll probably be the last Metal Slime that we see fought by Lord of the Synth.
That's true.
And meanwhile, deep in the grave, we have the Stones of Sunlight. One of the key items. So Garen's grave is going to be required and going deep into the grave.
And with Metal Slimes casting Hurt More, there is a chance. I would think about just suiciding out of here. See how long it takes anyway.
And Lord of the Synth, meanwhile, proving me wrong by fighting another Metal Slime. Thank you for that. And Smashy asking in chat, did we ever see what Wolf Lords were like? We did not.
He is trying to death warp out of here. Wizard would be a good option. Or he's grinding. I guess I'm not really sure.
I think because a lot of our runners are used to casting outside, that maybe they're not used to walking backwards through here as Lord of the Synth gets to level 11. Still only half the spells.
Looks like a little column A, little column B. He's gonna fight things and hope they kill him.
A far cry from about an hour or so ago, where things were killing him and he was hoping to be able to fight them.
The tables have turned.
They most certainly have. And now, despite the Ghosts with Hurt More, they give a nice 128 experience.
There's a good call out by High Spirits in the chat. This is some terrible luck to not have got one more red slime in what seems like at least a half hour. Seems longer. It might not have been that long, but seems that long.
Well, it has been 20 minutes since he went to level 2. It was actually about 21 minutes ago. As Lord of the Synth dispatches a Wraith Knight, and that gets him up to level 12.
I'll remind everybody, just from last night's race, one participant had a kill about 18 minutes in and took off from there. The other got his first kill at 1 hour and 15 minutes into the seed. And by the end, they were both making Charlock dives at the same time. So anything's possible here.
Most certainly. Charlock is and has been and probably always will be the equalizer. And Droll Magi's hitting pretty hard. I say, how many hit points does this thing have?
Thinking through what we don't have yet, we know that the token is going to be either in one of the two search spots or a chest yet, I suppose.
Yeah, so the token is pretty well open. The armor, the Erdrick's armor we know can be in one of two spots. It's either going to be guarded in Hawk's Nest, and the yellings of not random enough will come from chat, or it'll be on that overworld spot, which we know is 1 to the south and 32 east of Tantagel Castle. Whew. And Lord of the Synth, I was going to say, rather brazen trying to deal with this Axe Knight, but just hitting way too hard. And Itstoearly going after a Spectre, and yes, Cyberdark, the Spectres have 12 experience, which won't even get him to level 3, as he needs 14.
That might be the point where the bottle comes out of the desk drawer.
Oh, man. Oh, and Metal Slime getting hurt more on Lord of the Synth, and he's going to head back.
I would be really tempted to go ahead and go right into the search spot and then right into Hawk's Nest.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly... Oh, okay, it looks like he is going to be counting now.
Yeah, that looks like a count going.
Yeah, that is definitely a counting, walking pace.
And there's Hurt More. So there's your Hawk's Nest trip coming right up.
Oh, look at that at level 13, yes.
Itstoearly did complete that Spectre, looks like.
He most certainly did, and he's now just 2 experience away from level 3. And Lord of the Synth is beelining for Hawk's Nest. Oh, now we see a Warlord, but it runs away before we're able to see what it does and what it gives.
Is anyone in chat calling that Wolf Lord's the real Noodle here?
Well, we've got the Axe Knight in the Hawk's Nest spot. And the armor... I was going to say, did I blink and miss the searching of the armor? Apparently I did. Looking over at Itstoearly's screen.
So the armor's been sitting.
Oh, and the token is in Hawk's Nest.
The armor's been sitting 33 paces away this whole time.
And now Lord of the Synth going to give another crack at the Axe Knight. And has found a fairly decent grind spot. It's a little beefier than its standard version. And has a little bit more resistance to hurt more as well.
Might be a little more tolerable of a grind once he's got that armor on.
And using some sleep strats and is able to take out another Axe Knight. Itstoearly getting into another slap fight with a Spectre, just trying to get to level 3 and seeing if that can be the momentum gatherer. Well, so far the only places not yet explored in terms of treasure chests are going to be the mountain cave that has the 5 chests, as well as the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave.
Looking over these totals, his HP doesn't seem to be suffering very much so far from that K build.
No, so far, so good. And Lord of the Synth going back to the gold grind that worked so well for him earlier. Now, JJ, you were noting that perhaps the way to go would have been the gold grind after taking a look at the grave, as Itstoearly gets to level 3.
He did get Hillmore at 3, so that's a good sign for him. I think I would be happy with that. As about as happy as you can be being level 3 90 minutes in.
Oof. And getting hit for 19 with only 18 HP. And Smashy noting Itstoearly hitting red slimes for 2. So that'll make it a little bit easier to get that momentum. Oh, but now the red slimes are running away. Oh, goodness.
That is not a good sign at all. Might be time to adjust strategy on Itstoearly side.
Oh no, he just got a red slime there.
Oh, 3 doing 3 damage. That's good. We're going to start to see that
90-minute mark. That is going to get him to level 4.
And that's where the big numbers came in.
Ooh. But Star Wyverns are still being pesky.
So I think we definitely have a race here. There's a large level gap, but it's not that big of an experience gap. If Itstoearly can find things in a good order and kind of blaze through, pick up some equipment. You know, the armor's only so far away, keys are only so far away. I think we could see this tighten up pretty quickly.
Certainly hope so. Lord of the Synth going back to the exploration. Trying to remember, I believe, where Cantlin was. And finds it. And is going to go ahead and purchase that silver shield.
Got level 6 over on Itstoearly side now.
I'll make that 7. And now easily able to one-shot the red slimes, and that's going to get things going here for Itstoearly. As just in the last minute has jumped from level 5 to level 8. Meanwhile, Metal Scorpion's giving the max gold, which of course is found after Lord of the Synth has made all the purchases needed. Absolutely. And to answer the question in chat from Smashy, yes, Itstoearly does have the Strength Agility build with the lowercase f.
The preferred build of some famous runners here. Game Boy F9, I believe, uses F, and Silverfire and Lavkian use F a lot as well.
And I definitely do, because the F stands for Ferran.
A little bias coming out of your camp, I think.
It's all in the namesake. I'll have to look and see what B is for Burgundy. Maybe I'll start going with that. Knowing my luck, it's probably HPMP or something. Lord of the Synth now able to get some exploration in, as well as fighting some enemies along the way. Itstoearly opting to grind right around home and start to build up those levels. And McGrew noting that B is Strength HP. And Lord of the Synth up to level 14. And I believe I saw Hurt more. There we go. So capital F is Strength HP, lowercase f is Strength Agility. Good to know. Ooh, and yeah, Amazing Ampharos noting at level 14 for Lord of the Synth, bordering on what we jokingly call an empty eye level. Because one of our runners, Empty Eye, is very fond in a semi-sarcastic way of the 0 stat gains. Not that I can take his quote and do it well, but 0 HP, I love it. And in this case, it got a double, 0 HP and 0 MP, and only 2 strength and 2 agility as well.
I'd give you solid markings for your impression.
Oh, okay. Duly noted. I do appreciate it. Only gotten to hear it a handful of times. Seen it more in chat than I've heard it, so. I believe it's the Smash TV reference is where that comes from. Big money, big prizes, I love it. And Lord of the Synth running into a Blue Dragon, and Blue Dragon running from Lord of the Synth. So it's too early back into Garenham. And looking at the wares and seeing that nothing is really affordable as of yet. And a werewolf with sleep.
Itstoearly is just a few steps in the right direction away from busting this pretty open. Be interesting. There's a lot of time on the gold grind. I don't know that Itstoearly is as behind as it kind of feels like right now.
That's definitely a fair assessment. Just a matter of doing things in the right order, and ooh, Lord of the Synth smashing a droll into 78 pieces.
And we've got Swamp North and Mountain Cave, looks like.
Yep, Lord of the Synth is in the Mountain Cave, so we'll find out what it lies in some of the remaining chests that we haven't seen yet. As Itstoearly is going to pick up the half plate. And it looks like at this point the only spell missing at level 14 is Heal. Oh, and the Silver Harp right in the Mountain Cave.
And he's calling it right there.
Not even bothering to check the rest of them.
That's another different type of call to make.
And Itstoearly is going to pick up his Dragon Scale inside of Rimmildar. And Wolfman noting in chat, yes, it is possible for Erdrick's sword to be in the Mountain Cave. My guess is that Lord of the Synth going to take a risk and presume that it's in one of these 7 chests inside Sharlock. As there are 12 treasure chests unaccounted for, the remaining 4 in the Mountain Cave, 1 in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave, and 7 in Sharlock Castle.
The numbers definitely play in favor of it being down there, but that's an awful lot of backtracking if it winds up being wrong.
Which I haven't seen these statistics, so I'm not sure if it's hard to say it may be necessary for Lord of the Synth because of that MP agility build. Okay, High Spirits noting 68 strength. So that for the moment ends up being 96 attack power. Lord of the Synth picking up the Staff of Rain, so now all of the items are accounted for. And Sukiya, yes, capital K is an MP agility build. Lord of the Synth actually had switched to that about a half hour in and was able to garner some success early on with that after not really much success for either of our players in between there. Lord of the Synth, meanwhile, is in Garanham and is going to overstep and have to utilize another key and take that long trip around to get to the Rainbow Drop Cave, also known as the Jerk Cave.
I'm wondering what the strategy right now is going to be for Lord of the Synth. If he heads back to the cave, if he dives Sharlock, we've got some options. He's not far from being in go mode. It's really hard to tell what he is going to want to do from here. We'll also see if Itstoearly runs right for that armor, finding the coordinates here. Yeah, he did see, popping right out of those two caves, he did see Sharlock just north of there.
So I'm wondering if he's going to be beelining it back for that.
Judging from leaving the mountain cave, I would guess that that's the play. Personally, I would go ahead and clear the mountain cave. It's fast, and you'll know right away. Basically, if you need to dive Sharlock to find that sword. I don't know if we ever saw Bonus Cave.
We have not.
I personally wouldn't be too worried about the Hail Mary shot of the sword being in there, but you never know. Could be anywhere.
Well, Lord of the Synth, I guess, reconsidering and is going to check out the rest of the mountain cave. And McGrew, the creator of Dragon Warrior Randomizer, providing some analysis as far as the easy-to-kill enemy algorithm. As Lord of the Synth finds wings. Three more chests to go, looking to see if perhaps Erdrick's sword is among them, and then it's pretty much grind and go time. Some more big bucks. And an armored knight. Got an herb. And Itstoearly has Erdrick's armor. About 22 minutes after Lord of the Synth picked his up. And Itstoearly's going to go to level 9. Half the spells in play. It must be quite a while to get to level 15. As Itstoearly is in coal and is going to find a big nothing south of the baths, and going to check another space just to make sure. Itstoearly looking over the prices and realizing it's a little high.
So the mountain cave was a bullet.
Game Boy F9 already putting in the guess for where Erdrick's sword is in the basement treasury of Sharlock.
I'm going to call top chest.
I almost feel like, considering how trolly this seed is, that it may very well, High Spirits is in the same wavelength that I am. I'm thinking it's probably in the Stones of Sunlight cave.
There you go. Now, I don't think that he went through the swamp cave at all, even just to peek at the second continent, or at least the area it spits him out in. It's I would definitely take a peek. You're so strong right now. You know, pop a rappel on and just double check, see if it's somewhere close, because you're gonna come right back out the cave and be right next to Sharlock. But again, it's a one at this point. It's what, a 1 in 8 shot that it's not down here somewhere.
Yeah, at this point, there are 8 different chests that it could be in. Wolfman going with the bottom right chest. Yeah, there are 6 chests in the bottom of the Sharlock Castle in the last level of the basement. It's almost a pyramid type shape. And then, of course, there's the what's known as vanilla chest, where in the standard version of the game, that's where the Erdrick sword would be. And let's see what monsters there are here in Sharlock. Given that there's only 42 MP left, this looks to be more exploration and a little bit of research as well. As you see Lord of the Synth walking past what is known as the vanilla chest.
Nothing too.
Game Boy with the yes, with a little bit of a TV theme earworm. I mean, maybe that could be something. We could name them based off of the different values. So there's the 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, and 300 chests, as opposed to bottom left and middle right and all those others. Maybe that'll be the way to go from now on. As Itstoearly takes care of a ghost and gets to level 10 at the 1 hour and 51 minute mark. Oh goodness, we've
got.
I've created another monster here. And yes, Game Boy, you're going with the 200 chest. And Itstoearly immediately going up to level 11. Just about a half minute after getting to level 10.
And I haven't been paying close attention, but it seems like Lord of the Synth is slicing through Charlock like a hot knife through butter here. I'm not seeing much resistance at all.
He's been doing pretty good, just slashing at enemies and running from some others, although running on the 7th basement does tend to be a bit more problematic, as Lord of the Synth is finding out with a Wraith. I believe that's 5 blocked run attempts in a row.
Yep, commentator's curse, I suppose.
Wouldn't be the first time. And I believe Itstoearly is about another level away, or another enemy away from hitting level. Oh wow! Look at the wolf. We haven't seen too much of them this seed.
Last call to get your picks in.
I'm trying to open the door by talking to it and using the stairs, and finally gets through. And level 12 for Itstoearly. And let's see. Oh, the fighter's ring in the bottom right chest, in that 150 chest. That adds an additional 2 attack points once you put it on, which Lord of the Synth is going to do. And we've got the magic key in the 100 spot.
There it is.
Erdrick's sword in the 50 spot. And not even bothering to check the rest. McGrew cheated. He kind of has the inside track on these things.
Itstoearly has found his way to the Hurtmore spell here. So if we get a Trolley Dragon Lord, he's made a lot of headway. Only 1 level behind. A lot of, well, I guess only 3,000 XP, which is not the worst I've ever seen. But if we get a Trolley Dragon Lord here that does some damage, causes Lord of the Synth some headaches, we could see some movement here on Itstoearly's side yet.
Ooh, Blue Dragon's giving practically nothing. 8 experience and 5 gold. Lord of the Synth putting a Wraith to sleep and running away. Just to find an Axe Knight causing some trouble. And Itstoearly has found the caves over by Sharlock and is going to traipse. Well, no, is not going to bother with the swamp cave. And the Guardian mini-boss is the Demon Knight. So Lord of the Synth with a little information. And isn't even going to bother going for the Dragon Lord. I almost wonder if that's... I was going to say, I wonder if that's a good idea, is at least maybe something in terms of at least finding out what Dragon Lord 1 brings to the table, as Itstoearly finds the Silver Harp.
Yeah, that was... I agree. I don't know that there's a big benefit towards living right now. You're still walking to find some place to rest up. I think, again, as we talked about about an hour and a half ago, knowledge is very important when it comes to chaos.
Oh, amazing, Ampharos. Taking you out of context there, JJ Schmidt. Saying, quote, taking your quote of, I don't know that there's a big benefit to living.
We can debate that at a metaphysical level later. But for Lodo here, surviving a Dragon Lord dive is not as important as it might be for other people.
Exactly. The knowledge of finding out what the Dragon Lord brings to the table would certainly outdo the loss of the half of his gold, because at this point, what's Lord of the Synth going to be buying except for maybe some herbs or maybe a torch? About it. Stay at the inn.
I'm not sure if he knows where he's at right now either. And then burning a couple of those herbs just to stay alive. It's a good point. There's no Motel 6 in town here. It's off in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, Brecconary's hiding this seed.
I think if I'm seeing it right, Itstoearly is gonna be the first one over to the second continent. Again, unless I missed Lord of the Synth doing that at some point.
No, I don't believe so. I think he saw that it was the swamp cave and noped right on out of it.
Wound up being the right choice. So this could be a little bit of a time sink on Itstoearly's side, although no way for him to know that.
And now Itstoearly with a slightly too late excellent move crit.
I guess this is where Lord of the Synth is setting up his grind at. I'm not sure. It seems like he's been hovering around this spot for a little bit. And we do finally get 15.
So 82 strength, that bumps up the attack power to 124. So Lord of the Synth thinking, all right, so 124, that's a average damage range of 6 to 12 on Dragon Lord 2. So if that's a 230 hit point, as McGrew was saying in before, that gonna need a little bit more.
He's got, I think, 15 Hillmores if I saw the status screen right, and it's hard to say. I mean, we've seen a lot of punishment in seeds. I think that's fair to say. A lot of these in the tournament so far have tended towards the very difficult side. But you can see Dragon Lords that are low HP. I think as low as 100 HP. And with that in mind, this would be entirely doable. I would take a look and see what it takes to get to the next level. And if it was a lot, I'd be considering making a dive here.
Lord of the Synth getting some strikes in on the Blue Dragon, and we'll realize that it probably wasn't worth the time. And the Blue Dragon realizing it too and is opting to run. I wonder if that cave that was just passed up was the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave. And it looks like Lord of the Synth is going to find coal. Is going for the item shop. And I missed Itstoearly getting to level 14.
And he shaved about 1,000 points off this experience lead.
Yeah, now it's down to just over a 2,000 experience gap. There haven't really been any generous monsters in this seed. I don't think by my count, I don't have any that have given more than, I want to say more than 150 experience. Well, there's only one. The Axe Knight has given 155. And a Wraith Knight with 150, and the Armored Knights with 149, but that's your high end of the threshold.
Another thing to think about with Breckenary apparently being on the other continent is, I don't know, we're not really, I guess I didn't really see, I don't think we're close enough to where Death Necklace is an option.
Oh, Itstoearly explored the other continent, High Spirits is saying, and a whole lot of nothing there.
And then it must be tucked away in a corner here somewhere.
And Wolfman pointing out in chat that the Star Wyvern, I'd missed that, they gave 196 experience. And chat having a little bit of fun with the Breckenary town. As I say, I think I'm the one who shows the love to Breckenary because nobody else does. And level 16, wow, 23 hit point gain for level 16. So now there's a thought about maybe using that Death Necklace. Attack power of 126. So now you're looking at a range of 6 to 13.
Yeah, that's That's a big swing right there. Then I would definitely be looking to make a dive, I believe, here.
And we talked about it earlier with Hawksness about possibly using the Axe Knight as a grind spot. Itstoearly going with that and has already cut the experience differential down to about 15 or 1600.
I think this is the great thing about Chaos, because if you're looking at it here, there's an outside chance that Lord of the Synth could dive right now and win, and maybe not even have too big of a problem. It seemed like up until the bottom floor didn't really have much of an issue. But there's also the flip side of that the Dragon Lord could be sitting at 220 HP or 230 HP and be casting sleep, and then we could we could be here for a long while yet. So the decision making is key, and I think, I mean, we aren't, what is it about? It's down to about 1500 experience lead. This could swing pretty wildly here.
And if that Dragon Lord 2 does have something upwards of 220 or 230 and has a spell of sleep, that's where I'll be the one grabbing the bottle.
I'll be making trips to our fridge for the beverage of choice. I think Captain Green and Chitin might be sitting at home in a dark room after last night still, just shaking off the tremors.
Yeah, that was an interesting seed that had occurred last night as a roughly 3-hour and 40-minute run that ended up in an agreed draw.
I did post that seed in the Discord too, if any of our viewers are a little on the masochistic side and want to see what they can do with it. I know McGrew was talking about playing it. I'm probably going to look to play it, but I may not get a chance until this weekend.
And for those who haven't joined the Discord, I just put it up there in the chat. The link to that, as well as the information on the tournament, as well as the schedule, and also where to download the Dragon Warrior Randomizer.
If you like what you see and you don't play yet, give it a good consideration. There's a good community. There's a lot of people discussing strategies a lot. It's an easy game to get into racing. There's no screen scrolls or jackhammers to pick up. It's just a lot of strategy, and it's a lot of fun.
And Lord of the Synth going up to level 17.
That grind spot, where that desert, well, I guess he's back towards the start there.
Ooh, and level 17 bringing no strength, no MP, 3 agility, and 7 hit points. As Itstoearly is now going to get to level 15. But only about 10 minutes behind from when Lord of the Synth had gotten to level 15. And Lord of the Synth casting Repel and is going to stay at the inn. And I think there may be a run to Sherlock coming here. So it looks like Lord of the Synth is trekking over to Charlotte Castle and is going to take a dive, and we'll get a chance to see what the Dragon Lord brings to the table here tonight.
I'm with McGrew in chat there. I would have put a dive or two together before now, but this again, that could absolutely be the wrong strategy. It's hard to tell. We don't know anything about that Dragon Lord yet.
True, it could be cake and it could be a brick wall, or it could be anything in between. And McGrew noting he's only 7 experience away from level 18.
And we did not see Gwaelin this scene. Or Gweemon.
No Gwaelin nor Guimond in Itstoearly's case. And Itstoearly getting that huge HP boost at level 16. Hitting level 16 only roughly 7 minutes behind when Lord of the Synth did.
It's looking like Itstoearly's making his way up as well.
Oh, and to tie-dye guy, Erdrick's sword was in the bottom left chest in Charlock. The as we've jokingly now referred to it, kind of a little nod to the old $25,000 pyramid, the $50 chest. Yeah, the 100 chest Game Boy had the magic key, and then the 150 chest had the fighter's ring. And the other 3 weren't opened, as Lord of the Synth had left the locked down winner's circle. And Itstoearly finding out that Goldmen have a lot of hit points and are pretty common to what they do in the regular version of the game, giving only 27 experience but 200 gold. I'm sure somebody's going to ask, are these totals even randomized? Oh, werewolves with 199 in the experience column. So Itstoearly doing some roaming around. I don't know if looking for perhaps a spot to do a little more level grinding, or I don't know if Itstoearly has found Charlock yet. Maybe that's what he's looking for. Regardless, Lord of the Synth is now on basement 6 of Charlock and looking pretty jacked and stacked with 140 HP and 126 MP, 15 heal mores. And Itstoearly not bothering with another werewolf. But a wizard giving a nice 95 experience.
This is a good, I mean, no way for Lord of the Synth to know he's that close to another level. But this is a good. I'm a big proponent of in chaos fighting your way down.
Well, especially given that the chances of running are a little more difficult.
But he's gonna find that level right now if McGrew is true, and he is.
And another 1 power, 7 response speed, a hit point, and 4 MP. So not a huge gain. But every little bit helps.
And he's about to be a fool.
He's using the herb, opting not to use the death necklace. Okay. Oh. He initially said yes and then realized, oh, that's not a good idea. And wow, one-shotting the Dragon Lord 1 for 15 HP.
Is this even randomized?
Yeah, we almost had a soft lock opportunity there. Or, well, I don't know if I'd call it an opportunity, but there almost was a potential soft lock.
I wake up in a cold sweat sometimes after dreams of that.
And let's see, up to 37 HP done to the Dragon Lord. Oh, Wolfman, the soft lock possibility is if you agree to share half the world with the Dragon Lord, basically the entire screen turns red and you can't do anything. The Lord of the Synth up to 77 damage on Dragon Lord 2. And another double-digit attack to bring up to 89. 96. So now any attack next could potentially be the final one. Up to 108. $120 now. And yes, a lot of double attacks. Another 12 up to 132. Dragon Lord kind of keeping the fire at bay for the most part. And another 13 to go up to 145.
The only curveball that could come up here really is if the Dragon Lord starts healing. He's not doing enough damage to overcome that.
And a bit of a low roll there with 7. We're up to 164. And another 9. Get to 173. And 12 will do it there for 185. And Lord of the Synth is going to take it.
That is, get out your GGs, folks. That is a well-played seed right there.
Taking that extra level or 2 certainly doesn't hurt. And it didn't here as he was able to chip away and chip away and chip away. Get out your GGs for Lord of the Synth, who is going to advance to the bracket stage of the tournament with a victory here and an official SRL time of 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 1 second.
If up to NG is still in the chat, after 6 hours of gameplay, we've seen the Dragon Lord get killed.
It only took a little less than 24 hours of real time here as Itstoearly gets up to level 17.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to ask, to talk over with Lord of the Synth, what he thought of how the agility MP build helped him here.
Yeah, that was a crucial moment here, as now it looks like Itstoearly is going to get to 18. About 45 seconds after hitting level 17. So Itstoearly is going to keep on trucking. And we'll look to see if we hear from the victor in a moment or two. So Game Boy noting Lord of the Synth will be the 11 seed in the bracket phase. See, the Cinderella story begins here for Lord of the Synth. Oh, he thinks. Okay.
Yeah, so we've got 10 of the 11 spots spoken for. And we've got AA, who's in chat, McGrew, who's also down there in chat, and Janice. As far as I'm aware, they have locked up first round buys, or opening round buys, straight into the quarterfinals. But we'll have to wait to see who they're going to play.
Yeah, I think from what I see here, I believe that the ranking and seeding is up on the challenge website, AA. So looks like based on everything here, you're the 1 seed. So I don't think you have to worry too terribly much. The top 5 seeds get a bye, and then in the quarterfinal round, and then seeds 6 through 7 will have races to get into that quarterfinal round. So yeah, it's hard to say exactly because not everybody has taken each other on. It looks like, according to Game Boy, that AA and McGrew will be the 1 or 2 seeds. Your top 3 seeds are going to be the 3 undefeateds who came out of the Swiss-style round. Amazing Ampharos, McGrew, and Janice Zeal. And the rest, well, we'll see how it shakes out among the remaining 2 and 1 players.
Right, to round it out, other racers with their spots already in tow. Ryu Seishin, Angry Larry, Tristal High Spirits, who was kind enough to do the tracking and chatting with us tonight, and Z-Man has got his spot preserved, and a tie-dye guy.
Yep. And now the 10th one into the 11-person dance is Lord of the Synth, who is joining us here in the Discord chat. Congrats and GG. Welcome to the bracket tournament.
Thank you very much.
Where to start with this? How about the first almost hour that was rough for both of you guys?
So I gave up and started with an HP MP build at 50 minutes in, thinking I was at a minimum way behind. I was going to ask for a reseed at 1 hour, but I got to Cantlin, and actually I can't remember exactly how that one worked. I got a weapon of some sort that kept me going.
Well, you had mentioned HPMP, but you'd used the letter capital K, which, from what we saw, was actually an MP agility build.
Oh man, my cheat sheet was wrong. Oops.
Well,
glad that worked out for me. Yeah. No one uses that build ever.
It's very similar. Larry had an issue. Angry Larry had an issue with that too. I think his might have been he confused a capital I with a lowercase L or something to that effect. But it worked out for him as well.
And ETAP posting a link to guides.gamercorner.net. That's it's essentially a calculator that you can enter in whatever name. It'll let you know what type of build it is.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. By the time I got to Sharlock, I figured Itz was already down fighting the Dragon Lord because I wasted a lot of time. There are so many garbage enemies that you got into slap fights with and then couldn't run from, and sometimes couldn't hurt more or couldn't sleep reliably.
And McGrew noting in chat that it's the lowercase k that is HPMP, as opposed to the capital K that you had utilized. Oh well, you live, you learn, right? But
So-
yeah, you'd gotten despite that change, you'd gotten to level 2 about 55 minutes in, and actually just maybe about 3.5 minutes before Itstoearly did. But what he was working on was simply that grind, whereas what you had done was you had gone, explored, were able to get the keys, and that had helped build your momentum as you were able to get a very inexpensive copper sword in Cantlin.
Yes, the copper sword was in Cantlin. I started exploring because like all the zone 1, 2, 3 enemies seemed to just clean my clock. I figured my only hope was trying to find a town that wasn't Garanum.
Well, that was the big difference here. That early exploration netted you big gains early and gave you about, I don't know what we want to say, about a 30-minute head start on really busting the seed open.
Yeah, I mean, you had gone from level 2 to level 4 maybe about 2 minutes after getting that first level, whereas because Itstoearly had gotten a couple of red slimes and was trying to get that next enemy of any kind, he didn't get to level 3 until almost 90 minutes into the seed.
Wow.
And that came from taking out not one but 2 specters that gave a pittance of experience just to get to level 3.
So early on, when I restarted, so the linchpin on that was I took out a wyvern, but it only gave 108 experience, and I burned over half my herbs, and I had no money, so I couldn't actually get to level 2, farming wyverns, and that was the point. I'm like, okay, this is not the correct build. Restart.
And that was what the impetus was to get you to change the name and essentially start from scratch, probably about 35, 38 minutes in.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't exactly lose any progress doing so. Just time.
Fair enough. And yeah, from there, the levels just started to roll up for you, and
There were some fast early ones.
Very similar momentum. It's just it took a little bit longer to get there, and yeah, it was the difference was roughly 32 minutes between when you had leveled up to level 4, and yeah, it was about 33, almost 34 minutes before he got to level 4. But once he did, within about a 5-minute span, he was able to go from level 3 to level 8.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, there were a lot of early levels. From my recollection, it's like I was 2, and then like under 5 minutes later, I was level 8. And just to address what Game Boy is saying in chat, yeah, I'm probably going to be the bottom seed because I forfeited my first race.
Oh yeah, that's right. If only they could offer points for close finishes, because your second race definitely brought that narrow 15-second edge.
Yes, that was a thrill right there.
For everybody involved, that's for sure.
That's okay. I don't mind being a dark horse.
Yeah. Somebody in chat already noting. Where did I see it here? Cinderella story. I think he's going to use a 9-iron. Little Caddyshack reference.
No.
Exactly. All the way to the finals. A little no. Exactly.
Yeah, but this was just. I mean, this is honestly just an awful seed. I really was within 5 minutes of going into chat and saying, "Would you like a reseed?"
It was pretty close, and I don't think there were as many whispers in chat about it. And I mean, kudos to both of you for your tenacity to just stick it out.
Well, looking at its stats, looks like he's going to take this one down. So I mean, he's not really that far behind me.
No, all things considered, I mean, given the delayed start that there was, to be able to rebound and get to where he is at this point. I mean, once he had started getting rolling, I mean, the exploration was pretty much done, and as you were making your way through Sharlock, he was starting to catch up with experience, and he's going to put the death necklace on. Okay,
I forgot to put the death necklace on.
Okay, that was.
And I was instantly, oh God, I may have just lost the race on that alone if I'm even still in it. I'm shocked I was the first into Sharlock.
You'd taken a rather noted lead, and wow, Dragonlord 1 attacking for 57.
Ouch.
Oh no, and a back attack. Okay, only for 35. I was like, all right, he only has 48 if he breathes fire and has the chance. Oh, that could do it, but
I think he has enough heal morse here.
Yeah, he'll have a little higher strength and the death necklace working for him, so we should see.
Yeah, he's already hit for 16 and 20.
And that last level I ground out for 17. It took me a while to remember that there were a lot of good experienced enemies around Tandagel. And I very nearly went in on 16, but I decided to go check the experience required for 17. And since it was 1,200, I was getting 100 to 200 a pop. It was worth taking the time.
Did you have any consideration about going back into Hawksness to grind?
No, that Axe Knight was a pain. And I didn't like a lot of the other enemies, like the Druid, which hit hard, and my level still then was kind of a pain to deal with. I did that for swag, Game Boy.
Oh, okay, you saw the question in chat about the almost miscue of accepting the Dragonlord's offer.
Yes. I honestly thought I was going to lose by a couple minutes, so I'm like, yeah, let's have some style. Yeah, sure, I'll join you. Psych.
Very well played. Nothing like having a little bit of fun in all this here. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's competition, but I mean, it's also, I mean, all the things that we've seen here. I mean, you can't help but laugh at some of the wildness that we've had here in Chaos.
Yeah, some of these seeds get absolutely nuts.
I mean, just in the last few days alone, we've seen goodness. We saw a town at the spot where you would use the rainbow drop inside of, just outside of or on the edge of Sharlock.
Yeah, it's a long walk this time.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of obstacles.
And Itstoearly has taken care of the Dragonlord. So get out your GGs. Itstoearly with a gallant effort and is going to finish with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 34 minutes, and 36 seconds.
GG. One question I have before Itstoearly likely joins us here. One strategy I thought was interesting, when you got I think it was Silver Harp out of the mountain cave, you chose to just go ahead and net that and net the Staff of Rain and the Rainbow Drop right then.
That was a mistake.
Okay, I was curious.
I had forgotten I didn't have Erdrick's sword, and I wasn't going to risk going in with Flame Sword because my strength was a little low. So I had to dive the rest of Mountain Cave, just to rule out it, just to make sure it was in the treasury or not.
And it's too early in chat, making some commentary on the seed as well. Welcome to join in for some discussion.
Maybe he figures he can keep the language less than clean on the chat versus in here where he has to keep it clean. I don't know.
all things considered, I think both of you played really well. Good strategies. I like seeing just a breadth of strategies that you guys formulated to make your way through that. It was I thought it was a very well run race from both of you guys.
Seeing how it played out in the end, there were a number of things I considered were mistakes that turned out not really to be big mistakes, just kind of things you might do in a seed that's running rough for you like this.
And Itstoearly joining us here. A gallant effort on your part. Falling ultimately about 14 minutes behind Lord of the Synth here. But I mean, your play was fantastic, and especially your mid game getting caught up after the very rough start. Talk a little bit, as much as you can and as non-profanely as you can, about the red slimes.
Well, first I want to say good game. Congratulations to Lord of the Synth.
Thank you. GG to you too.
Those red slimes. Yeah, that's yeah.
I gave up on those guys early because they had hurt more.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything else to kill at level 1. I think it took me about 45 minutes to get to level 2. The first red slime... First, I spent a lot of time looking around trying to almost futilely get a bamboo pole and a dragon scale just to have that be ineffective against the high agility and hurt more.
Yeah, it was tough just to get to Garanham.
And yeah, but I mean, I tried the wyverns with a couple herbs because those guys were hitting very light, didn't have any spells, and that took forever.
I burned, I think, the better part of 10 minutes on one.
Yeah, I spent a long time on one of those, and with the specters as well. And once I got to level 2, because I finally got a kill on a red slime, and then I got a second one right away that I killed, and then a while to get my third one, and then I had 14 experience to get to level 3, and finally I decided to try killing a specter, and I managed to kill it, and it gave 12 experience, and I was like, are you kidding
Those guys are
me?
garbage. Utter garbage.
We saw you going toe-to-toe with the Spectre, and it was like, oh, as soon as he sees the 12, he is not going to be thrilled about that.
There were a lot of enemies.
That was yeah. But at least I knew I could consistently kill them. So I went and found another one, killed it. Not a big deal. Once I got to the point where I could one-shot the red slimes, the rest of the city just sort of unlocked and was pretty easy, I thought.
So I took a slightly different route. After the wyvern, I burned over half my herbs and couldn't get to level 2 killing another one, so I restarted with a different build and then went running for a town because I'd done some exploration because the enemies around Tanager were so tough. So I chased down a better weapon first.
Oh, did you get the super cheap hand axe?
No, I was actually not happy to see that one. I got the reasonably priced copper sword.
I don't think I saw the copper sword because I don't think I ventured down to I'm assuming it was in the big town. I don't remember its name.
Callan.
Yeah, was it in one of the lower shops there?
I think it was in the upper shop.
Oh, was it? Man, I wasn't even looking at that point.
Yeah, what Lord of the Synth ended up doing was, venturing toward the southeast and found Rimmeldar first, and was able to purchase keys, and that opened things up from there, as that allowed access to the treasury, which led to a gold grind.
A very ghetto gold grind.
Yes, a ghetto gold grind of walking in to the treasury, getting the 2 gold chests, walking out, doing the same. Once he was down to 2 keys, he would open, grab the gold, run up, buy some more keys, lather, rinse, repeat, and was able to build up to get I believe it was the flame sword.
I did it twice, actually. Once for the flame sword, and late game for the silver shield.
Oh man, I saw the price of the flame storm was what, like 11,000. I was like, nope.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
Oh, and I accidentally ground 500 or 700 too little to buy the flame shield, so I had to reset and start again.
Oh, that actually leads to a question. If you're reminding me of things as I'm thinking about them, did it cross your mind at any point as you were that close to the 11,000, but short by about 700 gold, did it enter your mind to check the chests in Garenham?
No, I forgot about those. Had I remembered those, yeah, I would have just gone and grabbed them. Instead, I wasted like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, our thought process here in commentary in the chat was, watch, he ends up ignoring those, and then there's gold in 2 of them and Erdrick's sword in the other, and then he would have spent the 11,000 for something that would have just been upgraded right after that. It turned out it didn't happen that way, but it was still rather entertaining.
Yeah. After grinding for the flame sword, I'm like, oh, I can go grab these chests. Erdrick's sword better not be in one of those.
And, well, fortunately for you, it wasn't, but took a little while to get to. It was deep in Charlotte Castle.
Yeah, I had the hand axe going in until I got Edric's sword from that chest.
The very cheap hand axe.
Was it the hand axe or I had the broadsword? I think I had the hand axe.
Oh, man. Doing that Sherlock, I mean, the thing that really sucked about that Sherlock was there were so many things, like so many of you can slap fight these people, but you can't really sleep or hurt more them, and they're hard to run from. Like the Wraith. I hated those Wraiths.
I for some reason, had a lot of luck. I probably had about 80% of my encounters I ran away from first try in Sherlock. I don't know if it was just dumb luck on my behalf.
ETAP noting in chat, people got pretty antsy also waiting for the easy coordinates check.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
nice. I think that's the first time I've ever gotten the coordinates without the princess.
That's the first time I have gotten easy coordinates and then put them off for a while for no good reason.
We were wondering about that. We were like, what is he waiting on? And it turned out that it was Erdrick's armor, which would have made the exploration considerably easier.
Yeah. I saw them, I went and did something else. It's like, I'm going to continue to explore. Oh yeah, I got killed by like an axe knight or something. And it was a little tilty off that because I had done something stupid in that fight. And I'm like, okay, let's get back up there and keep exploring.
There is something to be said for you. You sit around trying to gold grind and pound weak, not so weak enemies. And then you have all these things you want to do all at once. It can be easy to kind of get flustered or tilted by that.
The tilt factor is real.
Yeah.
I'm just glad Dragon Lord was pretty easy there. I don't know what level you were. I was 18 when I went in. I opted for the death necklace at the end because I felt I had just barely enough hit points to spare.
I headed up after grinding from 16 to 17. I think I hit 18 somewhere along the way. DL1 only had like 15 hit points.
Yeah, good thing too.
He got a back attack on you.
Yeah, and he hit hard. I was like, oh boy, I better one-shot this guy. But yeah, I hit him for, 16? And he went down? I was like, wow.
Yeah, I hit him for 15.
High defense, but low HP. I'm okay with that.
It works.
But yeah, thank you again. That was fun. I don't feel like I made any major mistakes in that. I was very worried at the beginning. I not knowing where you were, I was like, did he get some lucky shots? Seeing those red slimes, 3 of them just to level up to 2.
I was thinking exactly the same
thing.
I was thinking exactly the same.
Well, later on, I started getting, critical hits left and right, no problem. But early on, I couldn't seem to get them. I didn't get a single one against a red slime.
I thought you, Itstoearly. I thought you did a great job. You made up for a lot of lost time from about the 1.5 to 2 hour mark. You did a really great job in that section.
Thank you very much. I can't wait to watch the VOD back later.
Did anyone have the COD counter running for this race?
I think the COD count would just be so frequent, especially with the numerous resets that were going in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think early on that Game Boy tried to set the COD count somewhere in the 6 or 7 digit range, but it was so high that the program wouldn't take it.
We got an overflow.
A little bit of an overflow. I mean, that could probably account for the entire tournament, the way things have gone here. Speaking of which, Lord of the Synth now with the victory. You're going to be moving on to the bracket stage. One more spot to be filled tomorrow night. And that'll be right here among the Randomania networks. It'll be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be Zarnax 42 against Azrael Ravenheart. The winner gets in. The loser, unfortunately, does not. But that should certainly be exciting. And also, make sure to check out the Randomania schedule, as there's a lot of different things going on, including, well, tomorrow, not too long after the Chaos Tournament on a couple of the other Randomania networks. There's the Zelda 2 Randomizer Weekly, as well as the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer League Stage 6. So that's going on all tomorrow night. As far as the tournament here, you can check out all of these standings over on the Challenge website, and you can also get a hold of the game and everything there. You can get a hold of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer yourself, so you can give this all a try, as well as join the Discord to get some tips and find people to race and things of that nature. Make sure to give our runners a follow here. Itstoearly, Lord of the Synth, both doing a fantastic job here. Also, make sure to give a follow to our restreamer, as well as our tracker, Wolfman 2000, and High Spirits, doing a fantastic job behind the scenes, as well as my co-commentator here, JJ Schmidt 77. And for everyone here, I'm Ferran Burgundy, saying until next time, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and give a host over to Randomania 1, where we have the Pokemon Crystal Cinco Bingo Tournament going on Randomania 1. Good night, everyone.